Rats with backpacks could help rescue earthquake survivors. Earthquakes, flooding, and hurricanes can cause enormous damage to infrastructure and trap people inside the collapsed buildings. A new project from Virgin non-profit A- Apopo is training rodents to search the rubble of disaster zones for survivors and kitting them out with tiny high-tech backpacks to help first responders communicate with them. CNN buildings don't collapse very often, but when they do, it's catastrophic for those trapped inside. Natural disasters like earthquakes and hurricanes can level entire towns, and for the search and rescue teams trying to find survivors, it's a painstaking task. But unlikely Saver is being trained up to help out. Wretch. The project conceived by Virgin non-profit Apopo is nicking out rodent with tiny high-tech backpacks to help first responders search for survivors among rubble in disaster zones. Rats are typically quite curious and like to explore, and that is key for search and rescue, said Donna King, a behavioral research scientist and the leader of the project. In addition to their adventurous spirit, their small size and excellent sense of smell makes rats perfect for locating things in tight spaces, say King. The rats are currently being trained to find survivors in the simulated disaster zone. They must first locate the target person in the empty room, pull a switch, pull a switch on their best that triggers a beeper, and then return to base where they are rewarded with a treat. While, while the rodent are still in the early stage of training, a Popo is collaborating with the Eindhoven University of Technology to develop a backpack which are equipped with a video camera, two-way microphone, and the location transmitter to help first responders communicate with the survivors. Together with the backpack and the training, the rats are incredibly useful for search and rescue, says King. Rat the Pack. Ipopo have been training dogs and rats at its base in Tanzania in the scant detection of landmines and tuberculosis, tuberculosis for over the decade. Each program uses African giant pouched rat, which have the longer lifespan in captivity of around 8 years compared to the 4 years of the common brown rat. While the search and rescue project only officially launched in April 2021, when King joined the team, Apopo had been trying to get the idea off the ground for years, but lacked the funding and the search and rescue partner to support it. But when volunteer search and rescue organization GEA approached the Apopo in 2017 about the possibility of using RET in its missions, the team began exploring the idea. The key component to the search and rescue mission was the technology to allow the first responders to communicate with the victims via a RET. Apopo didn't have this until electrical engineer Sander Beldiasen got involved, looking to apply technology to improve lives during his master's studies at Eindhoven University of Technology. Berdisen interned with Apopo in 2019 and was tasked with creating the first prototype of the red backpack to help rescuers get a better idea of what was going on inside the disaster zones. The prototype consisted of the 3D printed plastic container with a video camera that sent live footage to the receiver module on the laptop while also saving the high quality version of an SD card. Is attached to the rack with a neoprene bast, the same material that is used for scuba suits. Apopo trains the rat at its base in Tanzania in rooms that replicate the debris and rubble of disaster zones. Bediason flew to Tanzania to test out the equipment and says that initially the rat didn't really know how to deal with it, but adapted quickly. By the end, we were just running around with the backpack on, no problem at all. He added as big challenges for tiny tech, with the backpacks working better than expected. Berdieson continues to refine the design even after his internship ended as a volunteer. But sizing down technology and adapting it for disaster zones hasn't been easy. GPS can't penetrate the dense rubble and debris of collapsed buildings, says Bedason. And the alternative is the inertia measurement unit, a location tracker used in the heels of firefighters' boots. If you are walking, your foot is going to be still bare every step. Also, that's where we can recalibrate with the rats. We are yet to find yet, he says. Other engineers are working on similar projects, so he's hopeful they can find a solution. The backpack currently contains the video camera, but Apopo hopes to also include the location tracker and the two-way microphone. Bedason is also trying to pack more technology into the next version, such as the two-way microphone, while reducing its size, weighing about 140 grams, 4.9 ounces. The prototype was twice as heavy as originally intended, although Berdayson says that bulkiness was more than an issue at 10 centimeters long, 3.9 inches, and 4 centimeters deep, 1.6 inches. The rats are working up against something that they would normally be able to go under, and suddenly they can't anymore, he explains. To make it as small as possible without losing any functionality, Berdayson plans to integrate everything onto a single printed circuit board, which will free up more space. This upgraded version of the backpack should be ready later this year, and he hopes one day it can help first responders to locate somebody that would otherwise not be rescued. Rodent to the rescue. Meanwhile, in Tanzania, Kin is increasing the complexity of the rat training environment to make it more like what they might encounter in real life. That includes the adding industrial sounds like drilling to mimic real emergencies. So far, the results are promising from her observations. King says the rats are responding well to the increasingly difficult simulations. They have to they have to be super confident in any environment under any conditions, and that's something that these rats are naturally good at. Handled from birth, the rats are exposed to the variety of environment, sights, sounds, and people as part of the habituation process, which makes their gradual exposure to more extreme situations less stressful, according to King. As animals are at the center of a purpose project and missions, welfare is a priority. The animals are trained in 15-minute sessions 5 days a week and live alone or with the same sex siblings in home cages, which is also where they live out their days once they retire after working life. Behavior and research scientist Donna King pictured says the rats are friendly, sociable, sociable, and easy to work with. Eating a diet of fresh fruit and vegetables, they also get daily playtime in a custom-built playroom. Although for the search and rescue rat, training is very similar, just with a little bit of direction, says King. The program is still in development, but King estimates it will take at least 9 to 12 months to train each rat. For the next stage of training, King says the team will create levels to mimic multiple floors of the collapsed building and move closer to real world scenarios. Once the rats are confident in more complex environments, the project will move to Turkey, where GEA is based, for further preparation in more realistic environments. If that goes well, then the rat should potentially enter real life situations. For now, though, King and team in Tanzania are focused on getting the rats through their first page of training and hopefully one day into the field. Even if our rats find just one survivor at the delivery site, I think we would be happy to know it's made a difference somewhere, says King.